Welcome to another tutorial from HMT Mechatronics. My name is André Tron and I'm going to show you today how to connect an LSis eXP series HMI to an XEC U series PLC. I've had a lot of customers asking me how to connect these two little devices on an Ethernet network quick and easy. So it is actually quick and easy if you know how to do it. For this application, we're going to consider the HMI sitting on an IP address of 192.168.0.3, the PLC sitting on 192.168.0.4, the PC on 192.168.0.2, and we assume there's going to be a router or a gateway sitting on 192.168.0.1. We're going to use a subnet mask of 255.255.255.0, and everything is connected onto an Ethernet network. Now when you start off, you first have to make sure you've got a mini USB cable which you can plug into the HMI here, as well as a mini USB cable which you can plug into the PLC's USB programming port over here. The reason why you have to do it via USB is to assign these IPs to the HMI and the PLC, because if they come from factory, or as they come from factory, they don't have IPs assigned to it, and you have to do it via the mini USB cable first before you can connect to them on the Ethernet network. Now once you've connected onto the USB cables, it's very simple. You open up XG5000, which is the dedicated software package for the Ultimate PLC, and you just go project, new project. I'm going to call this project comms for communication, and I make sure I got the XEC U PLC, ladder logic diagram, so I don't got to worry too much about the programming name. On the HMI side, we have to use a package called XP Builder, which is the dedicated package for the HMI. We're going to do the same and just create a new project. The HMI for this demonstration purposes will be the eXP series HMIs, and I'm just simply going to use the eXP40TTA. The A version, the A at the back, is for the Ethernet version. Don't use the E version because that's only for economic and they don't have Ethernet ports. So we're going to use the eXP40TTA for Ethernet. Down here, the vendor or the maker of the PLC will be, or the HMI will be LSis. On the product type, we're going to use the XEC Ethernet protocol. Don't use the XGB or XGI or XGKs. Those are different PLCs. We're going to use the XEC Ethernet one here. And we're simply just going to go finish. Okay, so this is the environment. And now we have to set up the different IP addresses. We've got to set up the 3, the 4, and the 2. So let's start off by doing the PC first. That's fairly simple to do it. You just go to your Windows environment and you type in network settings or network configuration settings. We go to the Ethernet environment, and the reason why we have to do this is we have to get the laptop in the same range of IPs as the HMI and the PLC. So we go down to the right where it says change adapter options, double click on the Ethernet environment, and on protocol version 4 we're going to use a static IP 192.168.0.2. Remember, 1 is my gateway or the router, so we're going to use 2 for the laptop. The gateway we're not going to put in for now. We're just going to have the subnet mask and the IP there. We don't need it. So we just go OK and OK again. So now this Ethernet port is assigned to the IP address in the presentation here. So the next one will be the HMI. So we go to XP Builder. We double click on the XGT panel settings in the left window, project window. We go here, make sure it's XEC Ethernet. The protocol is Ethernet. And we go to Detail Settings. The The IP you have to assign here is the IP of the PLC. So now our IP of the PLC is number 4. So we'll just make it 192.168.0.4. We're using TCP IP. You go OK. So this is the controller, and this controller is the controller which is the PLC, and this is the PLC's IP address over there. So we just go OK from there. To set the HMI IP address, you just go to XGT COM settings and you scan it on the Ethernet network. If you cannot pick up the IP address of that unit, if you scan it here, hold your finger on the HMI for 3 seconds and go into the backend or the operating system of the HMI and change the settings inside the HMI to that address, 192.168.0.3. On the PLC side, it's fairly simple. You just go on the Ethernet network settings on the left here, and you give the PLC the address 192.168.0.4 as indicated here. The subnet mask 255.255.255.0. Make sure your station number is 0, and make sure your server mode is XGT server, because that's the protocol we're going to communicate to the HMI. It's the same protocol as the protocol in the HMI over here. That protocol is the same protocol, that Ethernet protocol is the same protocol as this protocol over here, XGT server. Okay, so once that is done, we can go and download both projects by clicking on send and make sure it's USB, because remember the HMI doesn't have an Ethernet IP yet. If you have changed the Ethernet IP in the back end, you can do it by Ethernet by scanning the HMI. Once you've scanned it, it will pick it up and you can download it. If you haven't got the IP changed, you have to download it on USB first. Okay, so you just go download and it will download this project to the HMI and the IP will be updated. On the PLC side, you also go online, connection settings, you change it to USB, local, you go connect and you go OK. Once that's done, you simply go and write the program over there. I haven't got a PLC connected to mine, so I can't write it at the moment. But if you've got the PLC connected, you simply just go write and you download it. Once that is done, you go online and you simply go clear reset the PLC, and it will automatically disconnect the PLC. Once you've resetted the PLC, you will be able to go to connection settings, make it Ethernet remote 1, and you can connect to that device on that IP address. Going to settings, and remember now we have to connect to address 4. So we type in address 192.168.0.4. Once that is done, we can simply connect to the PLC on Ethernet. Because your laptop is in that same range, your PLC is in the same range, and now the HMI is in the same range, you can connect to all of those. On the HMI side, you can simply connect on Ethernet. That'll be address 3, address 3. You can connect to address 3. Okay, so now that we've got the HMI on that IP, we got the PLC on that IP, we got the laptop on that IP, and the router sits at that static IP. We got 4 static IPs in the network. There's no static conflicts. Now we can test the system. I'm going to use the test the system in simulation mode because I don't have an HMI and a PLC connect to it, but it essentially works exactly the same. So what we're going to do on the HMI side is simply put a button down on the screen, a bit switch. There's a little bit switch there. We're going to give it an address. Let's call it MX0. We make it an alternate button, which means when you press it, it goes on. When you press it again, it goes off. And we're going to use the lamp condition of it on that same address. So when I switch it on, the lamp will go on. I'm also going to have a bit lamp a little bit to the right. And I'm going to call that address MX1. And the reason for that is I'm going to tie these two up or link them up inside the ladder logic diagram inside the PLC. So when I press the on button here, it'll link inside the PLC and will display the lamp on here. Okay, so that's the HMI PLC. So let's the HMI program. Let's go through the PLC project here. We're putting down a normally open contact, and let's call it button. We give it an address of %MX0 because that's the same address which we have used in the HMI here, just to confirm, MX0. And that one will be if I display my device MX0. So let's put in coil to that, and we call that lamp. And we make it %MX1. And let's put an end command to the code. So now if MX0 comes on, MX1 will switch on and display on the screen over here. Okay, cool. So let's put the PLC in simulation mode. So there's the PLC. By clicking on that little simulation button there, we put the PLC in simulation mode. And we make sure it's in run mode. So let's go back to the HMI, and we put the HMI also in simulation mode by this little red button here. Just drag it a little bit down. So there's the simulation mode. So if I press the blue button, okay, and the reason why it's not working is I haven't put the XP Builder software in simulation mode. There's a little tick box which you have to tick in order to get that to work. So let's exit this quickly. Under your project properties here, there's a tick box here that says use PL simulator. All this button does is it literally takes the communication away from the serial port and puts it to the simulator. So let's put it back in simulation mode and see if it works now. Okay, so if I switch that on, the lamp comes on immediately, and you can see the same will happen in the software. So let's drag the software down a little bit. So if I switch it off, it goes off. If I switch it on, it goes on. There you can see it. That's in simulation mode. If it works in simulation mode, exactly the same will work in real life with the HMI and the PLC. I hope this is going to get you going in a quick and easy way. Thank you for watching, and I hope you can come back and listen to some more of these tutorials. Thank you.